Senate Democrats responding to recent criticism of Robert Mueller by the White House. In letters just released dated March 7th to senior Justice Department officials, lawmakers urged them to publicly promise not to interfere in the special counsel's Russia investigation, writing in part, quote, "We have significant concerns that the president or his White House could order individuals at the Justice or the Department of Justice with the authority to oversee special counsel Mueller's probe to interfere with the probe or shut it down." Our panel now, Leslie Marshall is a Fox News contributor and syndicated radio talk show host. Matt Schlapp is the chairman of the American Conservative Union. Thank you both for talking to us. And this just gets thicker and thicker by the day. So now there is a concerted effort to protect Mueller. Senator Richard Blumenthal has co-written a piece in Slate.com with an American historian, and in it he compares President Trump to Nixon when in 1973, as the Watergate investigation was heating up, President Richard Nixon announced the resignation of several administration officials, including the Attorney General. So unsatisfied, the senators from both parties wanted reassurance that a, quote, special prosecutor would be truly independent. So they wrote a letter promising the special prosecutor, and this is why this is relevant here, will, quote, be subject to removal only by reason of extraordinary improprieties on his part. So now let's fast forward to 2018. I had to give a little history lesson there in order to prop up this letter. There are 9 senators, all Democrats, including Senator Blumenthal, who have written a letter to 5 DOJ officials. They fall in line of succession at the Department of Justice. If Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein were either to be resigned or removed. So here's what it reads in part. In light of news reports that President Trump ordered White House counsel Don McGahn to fire special counsel's inquiry, be allowed to proceed with independence and without interference. It goes on to say, we write to request that you provide a written and public commitment that you will not interfere in the special counsel's investigation into the Russian meddling in the 2016 elections, possible collusion with such meddling by the Trump campaign, efforts to obstruct justice and any related inquiry. Matt, do you believe there is still a chance President Trump would consider firing Mueller? And does this letter change anything?
Absolutely. And actually, it's the president's obligation to fire any employee of the Department of Justice if there's a reason to do so. For instance, if Bob Mueller, and I have not attacked him about the way he's going about his investigation, but if Bob Mueller were to do things in these investigations where he would be going on a fishing expedition for the whole 70 years of Donald Trump's life, that would be clearly outside the scope of its investigation, and they should take immediate steps. Let's remember, we have separation of powers, which was what our whole constitutional framework was built on. Everyone in the executive branch, in the end, worked for the president. Just like the president can't fire Senator Richard Blumenthal's chief of staff, Senator Richard Blumenthal can't tell the president who he can hire and who he can fire. And Bob Mueller, although I have respect for him, he is not above and beyond the law either. If he does things that are inappropriate in his investigation, I would hope the president would fire him.
Leslie, what do you make of the letter?
Well, first of all, there's nothing and no indication by anyone, left or right, Matt, and you know, that Mueller has done anything inappropriate. So the rumblings that we hear here on the left, outside of the White House and all of this disarray and attorneys that don't want to work for him or that are being fired, is that this could be problematic. What's further problematic with regard to this letter, Julie, is the difference between now and back in 73 is in 73, there were 2 main differences. One, you had bipartisan support. You don't have that. As you stated correctly, all of those legislators, yes, they're all Democrats, and the Republicans go, oh, the president's not gonna fire him. And secondly, I have to say, and I think it's sad, but I really think that both Democrat and Republican care more about their parties in 2018 than the people. And I think it's proper that the Democrats ask for this loyalty just to be sure that the DOJ and all of those people within it that they sent this letter to, the Inspector General, et cetera, are fully pledging their loyalty to the U.S. Constitution, which is their job, and not to the President of the United States.
No, that's wrong. This is really important. The Constitution gives the president the right to hire and fire in the executive branch. If the president wants to hire Rod Rosenstein for any reason under the sun, he can fire him for any reason under the sun. That is what the Constitution provides. That is the constitutional
And it doesn't
option.
seem that the president is headed toward firing Mueller. He wants to sit down with Mueller. So obviously, if he wants to sit down and be interviewed by the special counsel, that doesn't seem like an indication that he plans on firing him before doing so. Nonetheless, Matt and Leslie, thank you very much.
Thanks.